guys, it's Jonathan here, and let's talk sim racing. So in this episode, I'm going to be talking about what's been going on with Automobilista, but also kind of expanding on it into another kind of low budget sim that quite a few people enjoy and I think is highly regarded and deserves a little bit more praise and attention, and that's rFactor 2. But we're not going to focus on that too much. Again, just getting back to unlicensed stuff that we all enjoy in our sims, unless you stick to Assetto Corsa or iRacing. I guess Project Cars if you want to throw that in there. But I'm not here to start a sim war. Let's talk about what we're here to talk about. So this is Formula ISI, which is stock content for rFactor 2. And you can see right there, I mean, it looks like a Force India. You see right there, we're on board with Sauber, following some Mercedes cars. You can tell, I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. And it's unlicensed stuff, and it's a Formula 1 car. I mean, how close can you get? That's the question. How close can you get to the actual thing without actually licensing it? A lot of these sim developers, not a lot, I mean, you take a look at Automobilista and rFactor 2, and of course there's, the sim developers going on there, and there's a lot of work, but for the most part, I mean, not a lot, but there's a lot of content, at least high quality content that could possibly be under fire or already is under fire because it resembles the real thing too closely. And you take a look at all sorts of examples, at least in rFactor 2 and in Stock Car Extreme, where it's too close. It's too close. And that's just on the cars. You don't even think about the tracks themselves. When you look at the circuits, at least offered in Automobilista and Stock Car Extreme, for sure Stock Car Extreme, because I think they removed one of them in Automobilista. What's it called? I don't know what it's called, but pretty much Historic Imola was in Stock Car Extreme, and that is pretty much Historic Imola, but they didn't have the license for it, so they changed the name, changed the logos, and called it something else. Plain and simple, it was Historic Imola, and there's no way around that because, well, the layout was the exact same, the scenery was the exact same, that's just what it is. And then they have the modern version of Suzuka in there, but it's under the name Kansai. Really? I mean, I can understand thinking that, the Formula Extremes might be able to slip under the radar or might actually be a loophole because, sure, it looks like a Red Bull, it's the same base livery, we just swapped out the Bull with a Lion and swapped out Red Bull with Riza. There's enough creativity there, I guess, that this might pass. I don't see it in Kansai. Kansai is Suzuka in every way except for the name. And I reviewed when rFactor 2 released, or pretty much, I don't know what you would call it, pretty much promoted a mod to a third-party affiliate, I guess, whatever. And they took these 3 tracks, pretty much Richmond International Raceway, known as Northside in the game. Then you have Eagle Creek Speedway, which is Kentucky in real life. And then you also have Apple Valley Speedway, which is obviously Auto Club. And the reason why I say it's obviously Auto Club is because it's an exact replica, or as close as that modder could get to an exact replica of Auto Club. And then they changed the name to Apple Valley Speedway. Now, I assume that's still considered a track or a mod, but it's pretty much official content in the game. So I wonder, I reviewed it and I wasn't thinking about it before, but now I am. How much can you get away with here? Is that legal if it's the exact same thing? And you look at the cars, oh, that looks too close to what we got here in the real world. We could take it down because, it looks too similar. What about the tracks? The tracks are the real deal. Kansai is Suzuka. It's obviously Suzuka. There's no changes in the layout, and the scenery is pretty much that. And it's identical, or as close as Riza could get it. So where do you draw the line, right? I don't know. But all I do know is now you kind of think about it a little bit more. You take a look at rFactor 2, and they have Brookdale Speedway, and it's supposed to kind of be Darlington, but it's not Darlington because it does not drive like Darlington at all. But you can tell, I mean, that's what it's trying to be to a degree. But since it drives differently, you would think that one's safe, right? Because it's not quite the real thing, and you can't say, yeah, that's pretty much the real thing. You can't really say that about that track. So you can say, yeah, sure, that one gets away, but Kansai? Does that get away? I just don't see that one, passing the test. Of course, if the cars don't, then how would Kansai pass? I don't get it. And then you have a few other pretty identical looking stuff going on here. What gives, right? It's tough to say, and how much of sim racing relies on this? That's the real question. That is a scary question. And I mean, it's not necessarily that scary, but when you think about it, a lot of sim racing does rely on unlicensed content when you look at even low budget sims and also just mods in general. You see it in the Formula 1, the Formula ISI. See it right there in the stock cars, and then of course in the Indy cars you can tell what they're supposed to be. They look very close. So that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed in this episode of Let's Talk Sim Racing, and I'll see you all next time.